I'll include having Muslim American voices.
Muslim American voices as part of my administration. If I have the honor of being president, I will end the Muslim ban on day one.
Okay, so that was the main first take that we want to highlight. Okay, by the way, this is my channel, Islamic channel. So there was two things very different from each other. And by the way, for people who don't know, this was before the election. This was a Muslim audience that this content was made, and Biden was trying to appeal to a Muslim audience to tell them why they should vote for him. So this is like this is like a 15-second video, but there's two statements here. Both of them are very important. Both of them we should comment on them. Okay, and they're so different from each other. Okay, so two things. One of them
I'll include having Muslim American voices as part of my administration.
I will have Muslim Americans as voices as part of my administration. So that was the first one. The second one was that he will end the Muslim ban. Okay, how do we feel about the first one, and then how do we feel about the second one? Wow, these are two main things, okay? I honestly, if I was a there's one thing to say if you're a president, and another thing is just, okay, there's two different strategies, okay? Are you thinking about strategies that is just the most moral and ethical thing to do, that is going to benefit the highest number of people? Or are you going to use strategies that's going to get you elected? Are those two things separate from each other, right? So if I wasn't thinking about being elected, the most effective strategy would be who would I let in my administration is irrelevant on whether they're Muslim or not, right? I would just look at their qualifications, look at their experience in the field that I'm hiring from them. The fact that they're an atheist, Muslim, Christian should not matter to me, because most people are morons about something. Just because they're morons about something, that doesn't mean they're not experts in something else, right? Like if I'm hiring somebody to figure out how to fix the water issues in this area, I don't know. I don't know what give me a position. I don't know, like okay, maybe foreign secretary, maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, maybe that would be relevant. But something that is not relevant, okay? Maybe if I'm hiring somebody, head of housing. Head of housing. Yes, head of housing, okay? If I'm hiring somebody for head of housing, do I care if they're Muslim or not? No. If I care that they're Muslim or not, then there's something wrong with me. I shouldn't be president, okay? Would I hire them because they're Muslim? No, okay? Would I hire them regardless of the fact they're a Muslim? Yes. However, there might be a position. Actually, I'm changing my mind right now, real time with you guys, okay? If there is legitimate oppression against a group of people because of their association with certain faith, then there might be some advocacy groups that I would hire for specifically fighting against discrimination. In that case, it might be the fact I might hire somebody because they're associated with that group. Do you know what I mean? Like if there is anti-Jewish discrimination, anti-Christian discrimination, anti-Muslim discrimination, anti-satanic discrimination, I would hire. Okay, if there is, I would probably hire a Muslim to tell me. A Muslim advocate to tell me about, like, oh, here are the policies, like, dear President, there's anti-Muslim discrimination in the United States. We need to address this. And like, okay, great. Thank you for telling me this is the report. I'll get my people to look into this, okay? But at the same time, I will have somebody from the Satanic Temple, and they will be telling me as well. They will be like, dear Mr. President, there's a satanic panic, and people don't like us Satanists. And there's tons of discrimination against Satanists, and you need to look into this. I would be like, okay, this is important as well, okay? Like, why do so many people hate Satanists? So if I do a Muslim version, I would do an atheist one as well, and I would do a Satanist one, a Christian one, whatever. Especially a Jewish one as well, okay? So that's what I would do. So I just changed my mind. I was thinking that maybe people's religion would not matter at all for most positions would not matter. But I just realized there's one specific position that I might be like, fine, we'll hire a Muslim for this position, but that would be somebody that is basically anti-discrimination position. But if I do that, then I would do the atheists and the Satanists and every single one of them as well. Yes, exactly. Satanist lives matter. Exactly. Exactly. However, I don't know if this is the best strategy for getting elected. And sometimes feeling like, oh, you shouldn't care about getting elected. You should care about doing the things that are right. Well, sometimes getting elected is the most important thing to do to be able to do the things that you want to do, right? So maybe I would be like, oh, I wouldn't be, if I was running for president, maybe I wouldn't be pandering to the Muslim community, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, it's easy to say that as a YouTuber and an activist. You go like, oh, I wouldn't be pandering to the Muslims. But what if all of a sudden I'm running for president and the person who I'm running against is like anti-secular, you know, anti-environment, anti-secularism, I said that already, anti-science, anti-woman, anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-all of those things, and then I'll like, look at this major voting bloc, which is Muslims. Are you going to be like not pandering to them because you're so high, like high and mighty, and you're like, oh, no, I'm not going to pander to Muslims. And then if you don't get elected, this guy is going to basically going to be a major cause to the environment and the whole goddamn planet and to your country. I'm going to be like, maybe the most moral thing to do is to do some pandering at that. You know, maybe I would reevaluate. You know, this is why I would never want to be a politician, right? Because if I'm talking to you guys, I don't have to hold like, you know. I don't care if people start removing their financial support. If they do, I mean, I keep losing people financial supports because I can't keep my mouth shut, right? But that's how that's why I appreciate you guys. That's how I want it to be, because I don't want to have to worry about that. I want you guys to know that I can say whatever I want, and you that's what you're here for, right? But if I was a politician, I don't think if tomorrow maybe I have to be censoring myself for moral reasons. I'm like, yeah, yeah, this might be true. Like, this statement might be true, but there's no way I'm going to get elected if I say this true statement. So I'm not going to say it if I was a politician. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to say it. Because if I say it, there's no way I'm going to be elected. And I need to get elected to get this person out of office, right? So, yeah, so sometimes, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't believe politicians, blah, 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 they're not telling you the whole truth. Yes, I mean, sometimes they don't have a choice. I mean, it's really difficult to be a politician. Sometimes, I might be the only person that I sometimes sympathize with politicians. People are like, it's easy to hate on politicians. Every single one of you, if you all of a sudden ran for office or anything like that, you would be like, oh my God, this is a lot more. Dancing this dance is a lot more complicated than I ever thought. Like, if any of you ever decide to be a politician, and the number of things that you have to consider before you utter every single sentence, you would lose your mind. You would be like, you know what? This is way too difficult. Like, this is why you need like so many advisors, and even then you're gonna get things wrong. Okay, so that was the first. Do you guys agree? Like, if you guys were running for president, would you be hiring somebody to any position specifically because they're Muslim? Would you? Marco saying, "It was just too important to be. It was just too important to be Trump. I'm not holding this white lie against Biden, to be honest." Wow, Marco, very mature position. I really appreciate. Wow, yeah, I'm completely on the side of Marco on this point. Very good, Marco. I mean, maybe it's not a white lie. Maybe, like, I don't think. Actually, no. I mean, I don't know if it's a white lie. I just like he's like, I think Biden is an honest dude. If he says something that is a lie, is because I think he's been believe if what he says is. Yet I think he's like a gullible kind of person that if he says something that is not true, it's because he bought into it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, he has said a lot of things that are not true, but I think, like, I get the vibes that he believes them. Yeah, pandering. Yes, exactly. Yes, Marco. That's better word.
Yeah, If I have the honor of being president, I will end the Muslim ban on day.
Katie's saying, what about all the PD accusations on Biden? Well, I mean, you just said it. They're accusations. So, as long as they're only accusations, then they're irrelevant for our sake because they're just accusations. Okay, so ending the Muslim ban totally makes sense to me. Okay, I think the any immigration ban should be based on specifically on values, not based on um, any religious label or specific countries outright. I know a lot of people say it wasn't a Muslim ban, but come on, it was a Muslim ban. Okay, it was a Muslim ban against Islamic countries, and then he adjusted it to make it seem like it's not a Muslim ban, except the countries that Trump was buddy buddy with, like Saudi Arabia, right? But or or Indonesia or some other countries. But again, it was pretty much like mostly a Muslim ban. It was definitely a Muslim ban, and it was just so general and so broad with anything. Yeah, so this is how you do collectivism rather than individualism. This was embarrassing. One of the most embarrassing policies from the Trump administration. It's a good thing he's going to get rid of this.
One.